These wedges of feta are being packaged for export. The cheese is so popular it sells itself, yet the ARVANITIS creamery struggles to make headway outside the European Union, where anyone is allowed to make a version of feta and call it that. This has brought far more wealth to imitators than to the Greek feta industry. The Canadian government says Canadian creameries make 7,000 tons of feta a year. Only 1,000 tons are imported from Greece. And the trade agreement now allows Canadian creameries to carry on making imitation feta, even though other protected European cheeses are off limits. ARVANITIS believes that sets a bad precedent for the even more lucrative US market.
We are against the Canadian deal because while it enshrines EU protections for most European cheeses, ours is an exception. They may revise it in 5 years, but we believe it's the beginning of a trend to exempt feta in future agreements as well.
What gives feta its particular flavour and consistency is that it's made from a mixture of Greek sheep and goat's milk.
We have the sun, Greece is dry, that produces good milk, but you get half as much milk out of animals than in other countries, but the milk is tastier.
Canadian creameries can undercut Greek costs by using cheaper cow's milk, which is chemically bleached. ARVANITIS' biggest expense is the sheep and goat's milk he buys from which feta is made. Some 400 shepherds now depend exclusively on his dairy for their income. The failure to protect feta in Canada now haunts the ruling CETA party. Its MPs say they won't ratify the agreement when it comes to Parliament. Instead, the trade deal looks set to pass on the Conservative vote. Fotini Arabadzi is elected in a major feta-producing region.
89% of feta exports go to the EU, where feta is entirely protected. In Europe, feta consumption reaches 500,000 tons, so Greece has plenty of room to become a key player. And that's where Greek agricultural policy ought to focus.
Arabadzi also points out that the deal does offer the Greeks something important. It lifts a $7 import duty a kilo for up to 17,000 tons, helping to price Greek feta more competitively. But it's unlikely to ban imitation, a form of flattery the Greeks have come to dislike. Psaropoulos, Jazeera, Thessaloniki.